Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now, full disclosure here, this actually took many attempts, way more than I thought it would. And you guys can see, so we're running the new Dragon Ball Heroes units on the Pure Saiyan stage of Super Battle Road. So here's the thing, is I really wanted to maximize these Xeno Super Saiyan 3s. And the way to do that is, of course, you add STR Cumber, the free-to-play one. However, he is just straight up, man, he is straight up just not built for Super Battle Road. You know, unless I had him in the first road, like the first slot, but I didn't really want him on rotation. So what ended up happening was I kind of caved. It took me, geez, I don't know. I think I did like 3 or 4 attempts before I said, screw it, I'm putting someone else on the team. So what ended up happening was I put another Over in a Flash / Shattering the Limit unit on the team, and that ended up being SS3, so LR SS3 Goku. So anyway, that kind of rounds out the team. You guys can kind of see what's going on. Actually, on this particular run, I got very lucky with rotations. I got the exact 2 rotations I wanted right off the bat. So you guys just saw Cumber. Now, he is not exactly what you would call defensively stout. He's far from it, especially on Super Battle Road. But where his sort of abilities come in is his ability to stun after receiving attacks. So the way that this works, and I kind of found out the hard way just by running this stage. After he gets hit, he has a chance to stun the whole entire field. However, it's after they are done attacking in that slot. So for instance, like, and you guys will see it throughout the duration of this event, because he gets that ability quite often. It's a high chance. So basically, he's got a 50% chance every single time he gets hit in any given slot to stun the enemy rotation. So, but let's say he gets his stun off. Let's say the opponents are attacking 5 times in the first slot. If he gets that ability to activate on the very first hit, after the first time he's hit, then he'll still get hit 4 more times. So, you know, anyway, it's still proved to be very handy. And then here we are with a Giant Ape transformation. He's actually unique in a couple different ways in his Giant Ape transformation as well. So he gets Ki +2. You see it right there. He gets Ki +2 at the start of turn, which is honestly huge, because you guys know when any unit is in their Giant Ape form, they obviously don't share any links with themselves, right? So they're not getting Ki except through the leader skill, right? So, you know, him getting Ki +2 really sets him up nicely. You know, especially on this Pure Saiyan's team, where the maximum Ki you can get from leader skill is, you know, 6 if you're running a double leader. So anyway, guys, that proved to be very helpful. So only needing 4 Ki is just like so clutch. It's the reason why, like, the LR Gohan and Goten leader skill is so awesome. That siblings bond team, they start out with 8 Ki. So only needing 4 is huge. So just always keep that in mind, right? And that's why you run units that share Ki links, right? So that way you can super attack more often. So anyway, guys, Cumber, very nice. So the rest of his passive, he actually, I didn't really know this, but his passive is pretty crazy, right? So he gets 150% attack and defense. Now, unfortunately, he is one of those units that is really limited by his stats. So at the rainbow level, I mean, he would probably be, you know, obviously he'd be better, but he'd actually probably be decent defensively. But at 55%, I only managed to pull 1 Cumber. At 55%, he has 6,800 defense. So, I mean, 150% on top of 6,800 isn't a ton. So that's kind of why you see him get touched up. So he was getting touched up. So imagine, and I kept him on the team. So imagine how hard that free-to-play Cumber was getting hard. Or, I'm sorry, how hard that free-to-play Cumber was getting hit. Excuse me. Shout out of context, Dokkan Tubers. So anyway. So let's go over the rest of the team. So the other two are extremely, extremely good. The Xeno, particularly the Xeno SS3 Goku. He's so good, man. And you guys, again, you'll see it on this run just time and time again. When he is in that first slot, you just straight up do not have to worry about him taking damage. So he's getting 100% attack and defense just right off the rip. And then he gets an additional 50% attack on his super when he super attacks. And then he guards permanently, so he guards against all types, an OP ability. Again, I've mentioned it before, like the Int Janemba ability. It's crazy, right? And it just makes him so stout defensively. And if that wasn't enough, for every Dragon Ball Heroes category ally you have on the team, he gets 7% damage reduction. So again, that's why I wanted to run that STR Cumber, because he would have been getting 28% damage reduction. Now, instead, I settle for 21% damage reduction, and it still proves to be more than enough. Even if he were to get super attacked here by this Goten, now granted that Goten's attack is lowered, but lowered attack doesn't have too much of an effect on super attacks because they hit so damn hard in Super Battle Road. But anyway, by the way, he's got a high chance to stun as well. So he's got a 50% chance to stun. He's just, for Super Battle Road, he is an absolute just SBR murderer. I mean, he just is. I mean, he takes Super Battle Road, chews it up, and spits it out. I mean, he's just that good. Now, I have him linked up with the Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Vegeta. Now, obviously, you guys could probably guess they're, pretty good linking partners. By no means are they optimal. The Vegeta, the SS3 Vegeta, he has, like, prodigies, royal lineage, so, like, they're not ideal linking partners, but they are, still very good. They share Super Saiyan, Shattering the Limit, Over in a Flash, Limit Breaking Form. I mean, they share, like, basically every other link except for those two. So instead, Goku gets Kamehameha and I believe the Saiyan lineage. So, it's not like a huge deal. So, but by no means is it, like I said, they're not ideal, but they're very, very nice. Now, when you get them linked up with this SS3 Goku as well, oh lordy, they get to have some fun, especially that SS3 Goku. So what I believe I end up doing here on this particular turn is I sacrifice all defense. I'm actually, what I'm hoping happens is we take a big chunk out of this SS3 Gotenks' health. And indeed, that is what we do. And so it ends up paying off. So I'm able to get almost a full 24 key super. Obviously, so we use the Whis there. It's unfortunate that it just is what it is. Like, the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I was talking about him, he is not exactly great defensively. So he disables enemy guard. So essentially what that means is he's going to do normal damage on, like, an STR unit. So, I mean, that's certainly helpful. But we're able, like I said, this whole thing. So what happens with SS3 Goku is when he gets his big 18 key super, he gets a massive attack buff, but he loses, like, practically all of his defense. So he's about to do a 2 million damage shot. We do get the crit, but then look, he takes 50k on normal. So if you guys did not know that, SS3 Goku is good, like, kind of in his own right, but he is not by any means a perfect unit. So he's pretty good for sure. One thing, so we're back on this Cumber rotation. Now, one thing I noticed about Cumber is that he has Saiyan Roar. When I was going over his passive or his links before I went into this event, and I said, oh my god, this changes everything. So I go ahead and just say, hey, fuck it, let's throw SS4 Goku on there, because they're going to share Super Saiyan, they're going to share Saiyan Roar, they're going to share, what else? Prepared for Battle, of course. So they just they really ended up being quite nice as linking partners. So another cool thing about this team is on both rotations we have this really nice potential to stun the enemy. So obviously, okay, so this is gonna hurt a bit. Okay, so that was with I believe 2 damage reduction items active. So, not great. Again, like I said, Cumber just really struggles defensively. And something else to keep in mind is just that, I mentioned it before, he's only at 55%. The SS3 Goku, the STR, the Xeno SS3, he's got 3 dupes. The Vegeta has 1 dupe. So, that also played a part in it as well. Obviously, having a 3 dupe Goku is going to look more impressive than Cumber at 0 dupes. So anyway, guys, and then you guys can see who we have as floating units. I told you about the SS3 LR Goku. There's the stun, by the way, on Gotenks. Very clutch. And then there's Vegeta at 1.83 million. This is only on a 150% led team. So on the SS3 team, they're going to be quite good. They're going to both be hitting hard. Xeno Vegeta is probably going to be up over 2 million. But then you have, as floating units, like I said, I mentioned SS3 Goku. And then I also have as the leaders, right, I have the transforming Vegeta, who's just, overall just like a solid unit, right? He's good defensively. He can hit pretty damn hard. I mean, just overall, he's good. He's probably never going to get up over, probably Super Saiyan. Well, let's see. So his transformations. So his first one is like buff Vegeta, kind of like the buff Trunks. So I believe is that grade 2. So Super Saiyan 1, grade 2. And then he goes into Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, I think. And then he moves on from there. He goes God, then he goes Blue. So anyway, but I don't think we see him past Super Saiyan 2 in this particular fight. And generally in any Super Battle Road, you won't see him past Super Saiyan 2. So that bodes well for us because he's gonna just always have prepared for battle. So except when he's on the Xeno SS3 rotation, he's gonna be just fine. He's gonna be able to get super attacks for the most part. Now, one thing we were not able to do, here's the grade 2, where he's super buff. Now, one thing we were not able to do, unfortunately, one of those things that just kind of is what it is, right? We were not able to stall the Dokkan attack, so we do end up getting it on this turn. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't play it perfect every single time. That's why it's Super Battle Road, man. Sometimes you have to collect those same type orbs. You have to get any little bit of extra healing that you can. So, there's no shame. It's ideal if you can stall it until the 3rd battle. Particularly on this stage, man, because the Kid Goku and the Kid Vegeta are just, or what is it? I'm sorry, Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. Sorry. But they are ridiculously powerful. There's a 3 million damage shot and a stun, so we're in no danger of dying, right? Very good. Now, as we wind down, I definitely want to mention, there was one particular scene you're going to see coming up where it kind of glitches out a little bit. So what ended up happening was, just again, full transparency, because if y'all expect perfection, that is not me. So what ended up happening was I tapped the button, or I tapped the screen, like with my thumb on accident, and I ended up like hitting the wrong key with, the Vegeta who was in the wrong slot. So I restarted the app and I closed out the recording software, and then I guess what? Forgot to turn it back on. until we had already taken down Goku Jr. So when you guys, I'll point it out when we get there. So, but as this video winds down, guys, there was one thing I also wanted to mention about Cumber. So this Cumber, man, it's so crazy. So he greatly lowers attack and defense on his supers. So in terms of like getting hit on normal attacks, I mean, that can really do a number on them. And then also, like, we didn't have to worry about it there because he gets the stun. So, you know, and that those greatly lowering of stats, those debuffs are good, I believe, for 3 turns. So it's obviously, like, on Super Battle Road, I've talked about it time and time again. I imagine everyone has time and time again. But it's just so incredibly helpful to lower the enemy's attack. Now, I go for kind of a risky maneuver here. So I'm going for all these green orbs, the tech orbs, with the SS3 Goku. And I'm actually targeting a type disadvantage unit. And my thought process was, well, essentially the way my dude's potential system is, I think I have damn near like all crit. So I have 1 dupe in him. So I'm thinking, okay, so I basically have a 1 in 5 chance of this being a crit because it's up, I think it's up at 11. It's either at 11 or at 14. I forget where the cutoff is for 1 dupe. So essentially he's got, you know, between a 1 in 5 and a 1 in 4 chance of getting a crit. And a full 24 key super is going to do insane damage with a crit. So we end up getting a 3.22 million attack stat there. But unfortunately, yeah, is what it is. Just a normal attack. So even type disadvantaged, we hit him for 1 million damage. That is honestly quite crazy. He's just such a hard hitter, man. And then if you don't get him his 18 key super, I believe he gets a 100% defensive buff. So his defense is very nice if you don't get him the 18 key super. See, there it was right there. I completely forgot to turn back on the software. But I guess in the end, it's not the end of the world. You know, it shortened the video for you guys. And you guys, I mean, can kind of figure out what happened, right? So we took down Goku Jr. So, but here we go, guys. At this point, we're really just chipping away at Vegeta Jr. Now, we are slightly disadvantaged. What I probably would have been better off doing is bringing, oh, there's the active skill. What I would have been better off doing, specifically for this last stage, was bringing Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, he offers a little bit more defense, but obviously offers less attack. So I just decided to go with the transforming Vegeta. I kind of wanted to show off the units a little bit, and they're going to look a little bit better, like in the statistic department, when they have 150% attack buff from the transforming Vegeta. So that's what I went with. But Evolution Blue Vegeta, of course, like if he's your only option, like, dude, he's still very nice. People sleep on Evolution Blue Vegeta because he doesn't, you know, rip off 3-4 million attack stats. But if you guys even have 1 dupe in him and he's got a little bit of additional in the potential system, he gets his free 5 anyway at 55% because he's AGL. So, but if you get, so let's say you get 1 attack with him and it's at, let's just say 1.4 million or something like that. He then gets 2 additional attacks for like 250k. So if you kind of start doing the math, that's almost like a 2 million attack stat. And then oftentimes he'll get another additional super attack. So, I mean, essentially, he just hit like a 3.5 million attack stat. It just took, you know, 4 attacks for him to get there. So it's just something that I always got to point out. Like, you know, if you guys are like, oh man, he's not very impressive, you know, and then also he stacks defense. So on all of his attacks. So that's, of course, really nice. He stacks it 7% each time he gets hit. Or I'm sorry, excuse me, every time he attacks. And he does that up to 70%. So, again, he's not even on this team, but I could talk on and on about Evolution Blue Vegeta. He's still really good. And then, of course, this is where we kind of end it. You know, a full 24 key super. he's got like a tiny sliver of health left, so he does not stand any amount of a chance. Just, honestly, this run, they just never had a chance. It's so crazy. These, I've completely changed my opinion on these Heroes units, guys. They're so good, and I for sure think they're worth a summon or two. I completely 180, I know, but after using them in many modes and many times, I think they're worth a few summons. So anyway, guys, that was the run. If you guys like Super Battle Road, if you like Dragon Ball Heroes, if you like my content, slap a like on the video. It really helps support my channel. So consider subscribing if you're new. I love all you guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.